Hello and welcome back to Bookish and welcome back to Saturday Hodgepodge, my weekly wrap-up of reading, booktube things, other things happening, going on around the booktube community. This time, no politics, no kind of in-depth question. My reading this week has been really good, so that's been taking up a lot of my intellectual energy. So I want to talk about that and then just kind of talk about some general booktube type stuff and things going on. So to start off with, as you know, this is Faulkner in August 2020, and our novel this year is Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury, my favorite Faulkner novel and one of my top 10 favorite novels of all time. We finished the first section, which is the section which seems to stump most people because it's told from the point of view of a mentally challenged man. And we're on to the second section coming up this week, and I will post a video on Friday. I think Un and Crypto are going to post a video tomorrow or sometime early this week, and I think Alan may be posting a video today. I'll leave links to all their channels down in the show notes below. I had a good reading week. All three of the books that the two books that I read, I enjoyed, and the book that I've started, I've really been enjoying. So the first book I read this week was Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. This is kind of the, in some ways, the book that's kind of the beginning of a discussion about, and a book which I think made a lot of people realize that African Americans experience life in the United States very differently on a very kind of interior level. They have to be on their guard all the time. They always have to be, as he points out, really kind of conscious of their physical presence and on guard for somebody trying to take their life away from them. I was struck by how similar the themes in this book were with the themes in How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. This is beautifully written. I thought it was really powerful and important, and it made me think, and I think I might have said this before. Let me get out of the camera here for a minute. There we go. It convinced me that I need to reread Breathe, A Letter to My Sons by Imani Perry. This is a mother writing to her African-American sons. I read this for the BookTube Prize in the first round back in February, and I really think that I need to reread it and think about it perhaps a little bit differently than I did the first time. I also read Minor Detail. This is a book that qualified for Women in Translation. It is by Adania Shibli, and it was translated, I believe, from Arabic by Elizabeth Jaquette. I saw this book on Marc Nash's channel, and he reviewed it, and it sounded really interesting to me. I picked it up. It's really short, only about 105 pages. I enjoyed it. The book's basically divided into two halves. One is, the first half is from the point of view of an Israeli army officer, and he and his men commit a terrible crime, and you kind of get the feeling for his being sociopathic in his approach to life and the way he is, and the writing reflects the character. In the second half, it deals with a Palestinian woman who has come across the crime that was committed in 1949 by this officer and her men, and she's drawn to it by a minor detail, as the name would suggest, between her life and the event that took place. And this was really one of those moments of, I don't know, it's serendipity, synchronicity. I always get the two confused in this situation. I think this one's synchronicity. There wasn't anything lucky about this, but it just so happens the minor detail which draws the Palestinian woman in the second half of the book to this crime incident which took place on the Israeli frontier in 1949 is a minor detail. Is a minor detail from my own life. As well, and it was something that I picked up on while reading the first section. I was thinking, wow, this is going to end up having this in common with me, and that's what the second character finds out too. It was a good story. I enjoyed the two different writing styles. I thought it was really effective. I don't rank books on stars, but I would say it's good, and it's only 105 pages, and it's well worth your read. But this is the first book I would have read for Women in Translation Month. I'm hoping to get to more. And then, beginning on Wednesday, I finally started reading this book, which I've held up, I think, this 3 or 4 times, and that is Lakota America by Pekka Hamalainen. This is a history of the Lakota people, who are commonly referred to as the Sioux, but as you'll find out from reading the book, it's a lot more complicated than that. The Lakota people were a specific branch of the tribe of Indians we refer to as the Sioux, and it is an incredibly detailed and thorough history so far. I'm on about page 85 of 300 and something. It's an incredibly thorough and incredibly interesting history of this group of people who, we all think we know something about because of Custer's Last Stand, the Battle of the Little Bighorn, and Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse and all those kind of things. We think we know who these people were, and Hamalainen's point is you don't know who they were, and their story is far more interesting and far more intricate, and the role they played in the formation of what would become the United States, and the role they played in the empire making stages during the colonization of the Americas by several European nations is far greater than I ever thought, and I'm really enjoying it. It is a slow read. The print is small, and there are a lot of Native American names and words which require some attention because some of the spelling is similar, and it is important you know what they're talking about. So it's not a fast read. It's probably going to take me the rest of the month to finish that, and I will of course be picking up other books as I go along. But it is exactly what I was hoping for in a work of history. It is thoroughly researched. It uses primary sources. It is not own voices. I'll say that. It is not an own voices book. Hamalainen is Finnish, I believe, and a history professor. He's also written a book about the Comanche Indians. If you remember, on my channel, I'm also doing a short story project all year where I read one classic American short story each month. I make a video discussing it. I invite you to read it and then to join in the discussion. This month, the author is John Cheever, and the book and the story is probably his most famous story. It's called The Swimmer. It was made into a pretty weird movie starring Burt Lancaster, I think in the 1960s, but The Swimmer is the story for this month. It's by John Cheever. If I can find a PDF which will allow you to read it for free, I will post a link to that below. So there's that, and there's Faulkner in August. There's just a couple other things I wanted to talk about. A couple of people who I follow on BookTube have reached 3,000 subscribers, and they're doing Q&As. I don't know if you'll still have time to join in and ask them questions if you follow them. And if you don't, these are two excellent channels you should definitely follow. One is Greg from Supposedly Fun. He reached 3,000 subscribers, and he's doing a Q&A. I think I'll post a link to his video. And then Alex from WhatPageAreYouOn also reached 3,000 subscribers, and his channel is one of my favorites. So you can go over there and say congratulations. If you know Alex or want to follow his channel, he's a great follow, as is Greg. Both great booktubers, both great booktube channels. Go give them a look and, congratulate them on reaching 3,000. Also, I just wanted to do, I've been doing shout outs of channels, but I want to make sure, I want to go to mention something specific about a channel I've talked about before. And the name of the channel is Argyle Dinosaur. And the creator of that channel is Lucifer. That's the name that she goes by, is Lucifer. And she is incredibly unique, I think, to BookTube. She's a very young person. She's in her, I believe, early 20s. And I want to shout out one specific thing she does, and that's Mixtape Monday. She's come up with a system where she comes up with 5 topics, and you're supposed to pick a song that would go with those 5 events, thus Mixtape Monday, and I enjoy that every week. I don't always get to it on Monday, but I enjoy doing it every week. Now, I will say, Argyle Dinosaur's channel is definitely rated R for language, but if you like music and kind of this intersection of music and books, you like thinking about what kind of songs you would play at specific events, you should go check out that channel. And then another channel I mentioned on my channel, another Saturday Hodgepodge before, I shouted out, that channel was called Hey, It's Shey, but now the channel name has changed to Hey, It's Shey. And I'll leave a link to that channel again down below, as I will to Argyle Dinosaur's latest Mixtape Monday. So I wrote my script for this Saturday Hodgepodge in this tiny piece of this tiny sticky note. So give me a minute to make sure I've talked about everything. Yes, I have. Okay, so I look forward to your comments in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching.